episode titled Debugging the Imposter, Your Code, Your Persona, and the Path to the True Self. Welcome back to the Digital Psyche, the podcast where we compile the wisdom of Carl Jung to debug the human operating system. I'm your host, and today we're tackling a bug that almost every software engineer encounters: imposter syndrome. That nagging feeling that you're not good enough, that you'll be found out, that your success is a fluke. It's a pervasive issue in our industry, often whispered about in hushed tones, but rarely openly addressed in its psychological depth. Today, we're going to examine imposter syndrome through the lens of Carl Jung's concept of the persona. In Jungian psychology, the persona is essentially the social mask we wear, the way we present ourselves to the world. Think of it as your public API. For us engineers, this often manifests as the I know everything developer, the flawless coders who never makes mistakes, or the always calm under pressure architect. Jung said, and I quote, "The persona is a complicated system of relations between the individual consciousness and society. Fittingly enough, a kind of mask, designed on the one hand to make a definite impression upon others, and on the other to conceal the true nature of the individual." Consider that last part, to conceal the true nature of the individual. This is where imposter syndrome takes root. We construct this seemingly perfect persona, this impenetrable shield of competence, because we fear that our true nature, our vulnerabilities, our learning edges, our moments of uncertainty will be perceived as weakness. We believe that admitting we don't know something or that we made a mistake will shatter this carefully constructed image. But here's the paradox. The stronger we identify with this flawless persona, the more we feel like an imposter. Why? Because no one is flawless. No one knows everything. The true natures that Jung speaks of is inherently human, complete with imperfections and a constant need for growth. When our internal reality, our genuine self with its insecurities and blind spots collides with the external persona we project, that's where the anxiety of imposter syndrome flares up. Think about it in coding terms. Imagine you built a beautiful, perfectly abstracted module. It has a clean interface, robust error handling, and flawless documentation. That's your persona. But deep inside that module, maybe there's some messy, experimental code you wrote quickly, or a dependency you don't fully understand, or a known bug you've temporarily sidestepped. That's your true nature, the reality behind the polished surface. When someone asks you a question that probes the internal workings of your module, do you panic? Do you feel like they're about to expose the messy parts? That's the feeling of imposter syndrome translated to code. So, how do we debug this? The key, according to Jung, is not to discard the persona entirely. We need a functional interface for interacting with the world, but we must avoid over-identifying with it. We need to acknowledge that the flawless coder's persona is just that, a mask. It's not the whole of who we are. The path to authentic confidence, to mitigating imposter syndrome, lies in integrating our vulnerable, learning self with our public persona. This means being comfortable saying, "I don't know, but I can find out." It means being open to feedback in code reviews, not as an attack on our competence, but as an opportunity for collective improvement. It means admitting mistakes, not as a sign of failure, but as a crucial part of the learning process. In a team setting, this can look like creating psychological safety, where it's okay to ask dumb questions, where pair programming isn't just about efficiency, but about shared learning and vulnerability. It's about shifting the cultural narrative from who knows the most to how can we learn and grow together. When we allow our authentic self, with all its quirks, imperfections, and capacity for growth to be seen, even if just a little bit, the pressure on the persona lessens. The gap between who we appear to be and who we truly are shrinks. And in that space, genuine confidence, born from self-acceptance rather than flawless performance, can emerge. So, next time that familiar voice of the imposter whispers in your ear, remember the persona. Acknowledge the mask you wear, but then gently remind yourself that it's just one aspect of your multifaceted self. Beneath that impressive outer layer, there's a dynamic, learning, and inherently valuable engineer. And that, in itself, is enough. The journey of individuation is the journey of a lifetime. For us, it happens in the quiet hum of a server, in the frustration of a failed test, and in the elegance of a perfect algorithm. Join us next time on the Digital Psyche. Join us next time on the Digital Psyche as we continue to unpack the code of the soul